Okay, we are going to compare and order real numbers. Make sure that you wrote everything down on the tops of page 16 and 17, your titles. The next thing, you have a purple foldable, mine's blue. Sorry about the color change, but it's the same foldable. So the first thing I want you to do is I want you to go ahead and I want you to fold your paper up hot dog style, only covering up to the title. All right, so you're going to do like so. The next thing I want you to do is I want you to make sure you don't cut the foldable just where you folded. I want you to cut on the dotted line, and you're going to create some tabs. Once you've done that part, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tabs. Each one of these represents a different real number. In order for me to place them in order from least to greatest, I want to put them all in the same format. The easiest format is to change them from whatever format they're in into a decimal. Okay? So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to start with 3 1/5. When you guys see 3 1/5, I know that I can change this to a decimal from a fraction. If you're not sure, you can always go back in your foldable to the very first foldable we did, which is changing percents to fractions, fractions to decimals on page 6. All right. So the first thing I know is that I have 3 1/5. I know that 3 is a whole number, so I can just write the 3 down below. Now I need to create that 1/5 into a decimal. All right. So remember that we're going to divide 1 into 5. 5 goes on the outside and 1 on the inside. I know 5 can't go into 1, so I'm going to put a decimal and a 0. Put a 0 up above, bring up my decimal. How many times does 5 go into 10? And we know that's 2. 5 times 2 is 10. I want to make sure I have a remainder of 0. So 1/5 is really written as 0.2. I now have a 3 as my whole number in the front, so I'm going to 3.2. Okay? So I know that's complete. The next one I'm looking at is the square root of 14. Well, guys, I can go back to when I was estimating square root and look at let's go back. We're going to look at page 13. I'm going to scroll through on my number lines, and I notice that I do have the square root of 14 at number 4. So let's look at that one. And I'm going to say that the square root of 14 is about 3.7. I know because he's not a perfect square. So the square root of 14 is about, or approximately, notice my equal sign is kind of squiggly. That means that it's approximately 3.7. Okay? Now I'm going to flip back to the page that I'm working on. Let's go back here and let's look at the next one, pi. We all know pi. Pi we estimate as 3.14. Okay? The next one, square root of 36 over 2. Remember, guys, we're changing all these into decimals. Square root of 36, I know by looking at my perfect squares, square root of 36 is 6. So I'm going to write 6 over 2. This is an improper fraction, so I can say, I wonder, does 6 go into 2? 6 divided by 2, everyone knows, is 3. All right. So far, I've transformed every single one, and looking at this, I still see 3.7 is my greatest number. So I'm going to say square root of 14 right now is the greatest number. Let's look at our last one, 11 over 3. Again, this is an improper fraction. We are going to transform it to a decimal again. 3 on the outside, 11 on the inside. I don't know how many times I'm going to have to do this, but it will start like this. 3 goes into 11 3 times. 3 times 3 is 9. 11 minus 9 is 2. Bring down my 0. Put my decimal. How many times does 3 go into 20? 6. 3 times 6 is 18. Subtract 20 from 18. Notice I'm going to get a 2 again. So I know it's going to be 3.6 repeating. But still, who's the greatest right now? Square root of 14. Now I'm going to place it on the number line, and I want to order them from least to greatest. So we're going to start out. Notice my number line only has 3, 3.5, and 4. So I want to go ahead and place my decimals in the center. 3.1, 3.2, 3.3, and so forth. When I write these numbers on the number line, I'm going to put them back in original form, okay? Make sure you focus on doing that. So let's start with 3.2 is really 3 1/5. So I'm going to put 3 1/5 on the 3.2 of the number line. Square root of 14 was 3.7, so I'm going to 3.7 and writing square root of 14. Okay. The next one, pi, is 3.14, so I know he's going to be around that 3.1. So I'm going to place pi here. All right. 36, square root of 36 over 2 is 3, so we're going to put him right on the 3. Square root of 36 over 2. Okay. And then my last one, 11 over 3, which we said was 3.6 repeating. So I'm going to put them around that 3.6 and put them 11 over 3. We have just taken all these numbers that were written, all the real numbers written in a different format, changed them to decimals, and we're able to recreate them by putting them on the number line back into the original format. Hope this helps you.